snowstorms we've had in the last couple of years? Maybe get a weather guy on the sports side.
Yeah, a weather guy. We got a weatherman, Jeff. He keeps us up on and does a great job. If you worry about stuff like that, I think the big piece is you've covered scenarios based on whatever might happen, and whatever it is, we'll have extra jerseys to wear or whatever it is, moving forward. But in the end, they got to play it too. So.
Thank you.
Coach Sawyer was talking about Michael P. Ryan, how he kind of responded to not starting and just Malik's kind of improvement. Obviously, there's a lot of depth at that position and competition. Do you feel like what positions would you like to see more of that, and how important is that to have that kind of competition?
Yeah, and I'm telling you that competition piece, I can't say enough about it. And, I think rewarding the play, and not just because a guy is established or whatever, but actually what you put out there. And once the team knows that your performance in practice, your performance in situations is going to earn you more playing time. And there are no favorites. It's whoever's playing the best to help the team win. And I think when Michael really took that and I elevated his play last week, I think really showed what kind of runner I've been preaching this guy is, and I look forward to seeing more of that.
And just overall, do you feel like you're getting that at most position groups, or is there one or two that you'd like to see more of it?
We're still, Edgar, we're still thin in some areas, so some guys kind of, who's next, that's what happens to you. And I think you see the rotation in the defensive line, especially, those defensive ends, those guys are rotating who's starting and all that based on performance, based on week of practice, based on doing the right things during the week. I think that's been real positive for our team. And when we continue to get depth in here in those positions, that's what the great teams are able to do. And, it's, I think, to pick out a position, I'm not sure, which one that might be, but at the same time, just the overall, the team knows that you got to perform in a lot of different areas to go get playing time. I think Morrill Stevens stepping up like he has at tight end, I think it's really helped that group. And I see it out of practice. Those guys playing, with a little extra fire, knowing that, the plays you're going to get, you better take advantage of it.
A lot of people around the country are talking about how poorly LSU is playing. I take it you're not buying into any of that.
No, they're just trying to set the Gators up, right? I mean, we all know what kind of players they have, and anytime there's a transition, you go through a learning curve, and these guys will be coming in here, crazy, nuts, ready to go to improve, all the naysayers or whatever you want to do, But that's why you play, and our guys will be excited to play. Their guys will be excited to play, and this is a good SEC rivalry. It's played every year. It isn't about divisions here. It's about an every year deal, and that makes it kind of fun.
Ryan, your question? If not,
I do actually. Going back to Morrill Stevens, what has he done to earn those extra opportunities like he did?
He's put it on film out of practice, and that's been great to see. He's playing with pad level. He's not feeling sorry for himself. He's going out and grabbing it. And I think what happens to guys sometimes is they get caught up in, I'm not going to, yeah, you are. And it's proven in a lot of positions that you go out and do your job and do it to its fullest and practice the way you should. And it's going to show up for you, in the game. I mean, Garrett Stevens, showed up on the threes, during special teams. Well, this guy wants to play, And sure enough, he's made an impact in a couple games because of what he did out there. So, that kind of mindset and mentality, the really good teams, the teams that consistently win, they understand how hard you have to work in practice. And it isn't about, I got a little sore. You're going to have plenty of time to recover, all right? And yet, putting in the work is something that guys have to get used to. And in this case, we're developing some depth. Certainly still not there. We've got a long ways to go. That's why we keep recruiting the way we recruit. And yet, the guys that are here are doing a good job of working. And really, I see some of the older guys saying to some of these younger guys, look, you want to get on the field, go prove it.
And then Dre Massey's probably more of a natural fit in the slot, but he's had some stuff from the outside of the last couple weeks with Tyree out. Does he get more opportunities this week?
Yeah, he will. There'll be some things that he'll be able to move out there and do. And really, it depends personnel groups. We're in red, he'll probably be out there more. When we're in silver, he'll be outside more. Based on where we're at in blue and who's in there, he'll probably be inside in that. But that flexibility piece is big.
His usage to this point just in case of until he kind of sees in that role a little bit and just a competition for snaps and plays.
Yeah, I think big thing is showing up and making plays.
Jordan, do you have an update on James Robinson, how he's doing with the heart?
Obviously came back from Philly. He's here now. We talked about it again in today's injury report meeting. Right here.
You have a whole meeting?
I can't. We do every day. Every single day we have a meeting. One of these days I'm going to invite you.
He'd want to go, no doubt.
I mean, we cover every single thing. And
That's probably like a HIPAA violation.
that probably is. That probably is a sign waiver. That's good. But, no, anyway, to answer your question, all the stuff's being read by the specialists right now. Still a little bit of time before we know exactly the results. But to his credit, he was one of our primetime players of the week, which is not just your performance, obviously, but your performance academically, your performance, being on time, doing what's right, and all that kind of stuff. He's really done a good job of that.
What does it say about him being so upbeat, so trying to be as positive as possible, even though he's not able to get on the field for health reasons?
Well, I think one of the things you learn is, when you're given an opportunity, when you're given a chance, go make the most of it.
A lot of people praised Matt Canada for being one of the best offensive coordinator in Irish.
He is. He's really good.
I think you mentioned Monday you look back at Pitt some. What I guess does his offense kind of do to
Well, here's the thing they do. They do a great job of shifts, motions, flies, taking your eyes off, of what the base is they're trying to accomplish. They do that really well. You get caught, and all of a sudden somebody doesn't communicate the right thing. You don't get the right push. You don't get the right rotation. In the back end based on whatever it is, and all of a sudden you got a guy screaming wide open or not fitting the gap properly. The way they can do it out of different personnel groups, and especially when they get into their, a bunch of different tight end stuff, it's really good stuff. And, that's something that I think, if you look back in my past, that's something that I've always kind of really believed in. And being able to do that in shift and motion, they're doing it with linemen. Getting into unbalanced, back balanced, keeping them eligible on the backside, so, all that kind of stuff. So it really forces you, to be sound in what you do. It also limits some of the pressures that you run. People run against it because where's it going to fit? You're not just lining up, showing your, what it is. You never know what it's going to be at snap time. So it does a great job, and obviously has a lot of weapons to play with, and that a lot of toys in that bucket to pull out.
Matt, you know.
Coach, you mentioned the defensive line earlier. Through 4 games, who do you see as the top contributors on the line, or who's sticking out the most to you?
Well, I think a bunch of guys. We've had numerous guys that have been players of the week for us. I think those guys inside are complementing each other. Taven's doing some good things. Obviously, Kerry was playing real well before his injury. And yet, the rotation at the defensive end spot for us has worked out. We've been able to keep guys fresh, and those guys are really competing. I think they've learned when to go with speed and when to go with speed to power and some things like that. But that's been the first part of the season here. We got to keep putting it on film.
I kind of a big picture question, not a housekeeping question. So when did this all start? You've been coaching 35 years now, roughly. When did it all start that a team can, something like that?
Yeah.
When a team can start,
I think I'd figure something out.
0-1 in the SEC, and a coach can be 5 games into a contract, and people are already telling him his buyout, firing him, the team's buried. I mean, you were dealing with it after Michigan. When did that start, and why do you think that's become so prevalent?
Well, I don't know. I think I don't really know. I think obviously the advent of, everybody can say whatever they want and not even put their face on it, and how many of those are what they call trolls or whatever, I don't know, right? Some other team trying to get an edge in recruiting. You got all that piece, and obviously when you put it in the SEC where there's so much interest for each team, I think that's probably part of it. And yet, how much of it is real? I think ultimately, look, we all know what we're doing. We all know how to do it. Ed knows how to do it. Whoever else is, in this particular case you're talking about, that piece of it. And once you know that, you really don't listen to it because it's really noise. That's all it is. And you've got to focus on getting your guys ready to play. And, it goes back. There's obstacles in life. And yet, how do you navigate it? Really showing the way. That's how you get better. And, in this case, I think, for us, it's coming at a bad time because this is just going to jack them up more, right? Like they need to be any more jacked to come play the Gators.